birthday party. I forgot to check it out. I was sick that night. Yeah, I was sick.
Is this thing turned on?
I was sick that night. Hey, you know, I missed a big opportunity. This guy was videoing Bill Hare, standing right beside him when he said the Constitution couldn't count. I should have got behind her. I've been on national TV now 1,000 times. I thought, I was standing there and just sat down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
February meeting.
Oh, the last meeting? Yeah.
No, January meeting. No, February meeting.
No. Well, I look like Charlie.
Shot all the way home. Next day I got sick. I got sinus infection. Now my children got bronchitis.
I got excited.
Oh yeah. I put a breather. I got a big breather down.
I'm going to give you a room.
Serious.
You know,
oh yeah.
I've been out and working in the yard, doing stuff around the house. The station office sent out an email wanting ideas for evangelization. I've been writing.
Make lots of noise, I'll get your attention that way. Everybody can wander over to a chair or find a place to sit. Let's see if I can untangle this thing.
I don't know.
Alright, I passed that challenge for the night. First off, we want to welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. We have a great turnout. You can't hear me? Does anybody know how to turn it up? You just want me to talk loud?
You sound tinny.
I sound tinny. Can you go get our fearless turnout hall person? She'll go find out for us. Well, we will start out with the easy part. We don't need to mic too much for. Miss Terry Carey, you want to take care of our prayer and pledge for us, please? Hi there, everyone. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. Now I know Father Don. I do have two brief announcements here before we open with our pledge. Thursday, May 3rd, is the National Day of Prayer. I know that there's a National Day of Prayer breakfast being held at the Kroc Center, but also I know on my Facebook there are many joining together on May 3rd at noon for prayer together, and in thought, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and heal their land. 2 Chronicles 7:14. There's also a National Day of Prayer.org, which is Bless is the Nation, and that is in Psalms 33:12. Let's go ahead and get the pledge, and have Father Don look first, please, for our invocation. And I want to welcome everybody here tonight. And Father Don, you want to come up? This is one of our two pastors who blesses us each month.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we gather humbly before you, Americans from the heartland of our great nation. We praise your holy name and celebrate your presence among us. Your blessings are many, though often we take them for granted. You have a wise plan for the human family, and you've taught us your most holy will. We pray that your will shall become more and more rooted in our hearts, so that following we will find peace and justice across this, our homeland. Give us, Lord, what we need for this day, your wisdom, your light, and the opportunity for honest work to put bread on our tables. Guide us as we band together as the Tea Party so that we accomplish your holy will. Help us to appreciate our founding fathers and the wisdom that you instilled in their hearts. Forgive us those times we've ignored you, hurt our neighbor, gone our own way, or failed to be grateful. Give us, Lord, a forgiving heart for those times others have offended us, for you have never tired of forgiving. May we not be tempted to stray from you, but to always follow your light. May we never embrace evil, nor direct it toward none. We make our prayer in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. Would everyone stand, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Announcement. I heard from Jeff Mays earlier today, and by attending the school board meetings that some of us do, we can be very proud that the Quincy High School rifle team did take first and third in state championship this month. One thing that is also amazing, this is a totally privately funded group, as well as even their instructor with them. And Jeff has been able to get Winchester to once again offer a one-day, two-person, it's NILO hunt and raffle by a team to raise money. And he assumes that they'll be selling tickets at $1 a piece or $25 for 3, and the proceeds will then go to the Rifle Booster Club. And he thinks the hunt's worth around $1,000. So he will probably, and he's going to try to arrange to be here next month. And for any that would be interested in that, they would be able to participate in helping this great group. But we can be real proud of them and their instructor and parents that are always with them.
Thank you, Terry. Now can you hear okay? I'm assuming no, still? You're telling me no.
Sounds tinny again.
Still tinny? I'm a chipmunk. All right, we're going to start off first, which we try to do whenever we can remember, to introduce you to who the board members are. So we're not going to make them come up here, but you do have to stand up. Sorry, you were sitting all day. All board members for the Quincy Tea Party, stand up. You see these folks standing around you, they give of their time to help out this group. And they're the people you need to go to and address when you have ideas or things you think they need to know about, things you think we need to be involved in, or if you'd like to just step up and say, hey, I want to jump on the board. These are the folks to make sure you talk to, okay? Thanks, guys. We want to remind everybody that there is a ramp on East. I'm no good at West side. I'm no good at the direction. On that side of the building, because we had somebody think they couldn't come in because there were only steps. There is a ramp on that side available for anybody who has trouble with steps, or if you're just like me trying to carry something up the steps. So remember, that's over there for your use. Kenny has, when he's not sitting up here, the 50-50 tickets back there, which Becky's got them right now. I think she's going to wander around the building. This just helps us pay for our expenses, such as this room every month. So we ask you to chip in when you can. If you don't want to buy a ticket and just want to poke some money at her, tell her you want to make a donation, that's perfectly fine too. The next thing I want to say something about is this table back here of mighty fine people. Mr. Bob Havermill, you can come on up here, which he wasn't expecting, but I'm going to make him do it anyway.
I wasn't.
This mic's kind of touchy.
I'm not gonna use your mic.
They are working on Fishing for Freedom, so I want you to tell them just a little bit real quick about what it is.
Okay, if you haven't heard, Fishing for Freedom, we started it a year ago. I fished in a tournament over in western Missouri where I was asked to pull my boat over and take out current serving soldiers in the last 10 years and wounded warriors. I did it, and it meant so much to these guys. I came back here and I said, well, you know, we can start one of these right here in Quincy. So we did our first one last year. We had 66 soldiers last year. We took them out. They were moved by all of what they've seen in Quincy, Illinois. We took them out for a day of fishing. We've got over 100 soldiers right now signed up from 15 states, from North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Nebraska, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. Those guys are coming to our town because we extended a welcome to them guys to come out here and fish for a day on the river with volunteer boaters. On June 2nd, at the Oakley-Lindsay Center, we have the entire Oakley-Lindsay Center. We have the 399th Army Band performing. We've got Longhorn, the comedian, coming back. He's the great-great-grandson of Vernon Davis, the Tuskegee Airman. We will actually pair up local boaters with the soldiers that night. And then Sunday morning, all the soldiers are going to get up, the boaters will pick them up at the motel. They're going to go to Hy-Vee for breakfast. And then they're going to go to Quincy, Louisiana, Missouri, Fort Madison, Iowa. We're going to be fishing for 6 hours. And they're going to be starting to weigh in down at Clyde Adams Park at noon on Sunday, June 3rd. I can tell you last year we had to do a real quick change in our plans because the river jumped up about 5 feet on us in 2 days. And we weren't quite expecting it. We took 35 boats up to Hamilton, put them in at Hamilton, and we launched and we came back, and we all came back in a caravan. When we hit Marceline, the Patriot Guard picked up the caravan of boats. By the time we hit Ursa, everybody in Ursa was out with a sign saying, thank you vets, thank you for what you've done. I was with the Command Sergeant Major of Fort Leonard when he turns to me and he's got a tear in his eye and he says, you know, we just don't see this anymore where we're at. We just don't see it. It meant so much to these guys. It was all quiet for all these boats coming back last year. And right now, like I said, I have over 100 soldiers committed. I got 23 soldiers who are definitely really either severe wounded or partially wounded. I can tell you I've got one soldier coming in from Florida who has 5 Purple Hearts. He was hit with an RPG, lost both of his legs and part of his arm. He's coming up here to fish, okay? It's a celebration of these guys are our heroes. Saturday night at the Oakley-Lindsay Center, we have 500 tickets available to the general public. They're $10 a piece. We have tickets back there. We have 2 flags that were flown in Camp Phoenix, Afghanistan in February of this year. Our president will not let you do that anymore, so I just let you know. You can't get these flags flown anymore. We have 2 of them. We have one back here at the table. They were both certified by the 701st MP Division. They have the coins of excellence inside of it. It's got the photographs of the soldiers actually putting them up. We're raffling one of them off at $5 a chance to help cover the cost of everything that we're doing. We're auctioning the other one off on Saturday night. We have an auction at the event as well. Everybody on the committee is a volunteer, just like what you guys do. We're in the same boat. Every dime that we raise, we put to our event, which is we cover for the rooms and the meals for these soldiers who come here, and it does not cost them a dime. The Northside Boat Club's having a fish fry farm Friday night when they get in. Saturday we're pairing them up, have our stuff, and Sunday we would like to get everybody. If you can't support, if you can't buy a ticket, we understand. Show up down at the riverfront Sunday afternoon. We're going to start weighing in at noon. If nothing else, you're going to see these guys out. All these soldiers will have a camouflage shirt on with their name on it. All you got to do is just walk up and tell them thank you, because that's all they care. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yep.
A lot of hard work going into that. Everybody as we can. Make sure you support him as much as you can. Next is Glenn. Where is Glenn? There he is, way back there. Mr. Fundraiser.
Okay, that sounds good, doesn't it? It does. Hey, we are a fundraising committee. Before I go into what we're going to do, let me introduce everyone who's on that committee. Kenny Holtz, Tom Darnell, myself, John Spakes, Mary Beth Swigert, and Ruth Hall. So we will be getting together, thinking of ways to provide some funds for this year. Our goal for this year, as we talk to our board members, pretty much is the campaign.
You take a step back.
Let me back up. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, that better. Thank you. We're going to get together and push to get out the vote program this year, because that's going to be critical. This election year is a do or die, guys, and we need everyone out there. And I think that when we go back to what we're, a purpose of what we're doing here, I go back to the year 1939, and back then the country of Germany had an election. And we all know who won that election, Adolf Hitler. The ironic thing is that only 17 million people voted for that election out of 80 million people in Germany. So when you say your vote doesn't count, that just proves what would happen when you don't. You know, if I could bring those other people who didn't vote in Germany, if they're dead, could bring them up to this microphone today, tonight, or the ones that are still living, and ask them one question: if you could live your life over again, what would you do different? And I bet they'd say, I would have got out and vote in 1939, because that would have made a difference in the world. Right now, we're back in that same dilemma in 2012. And it's going to be important that we get out and vote, because our vote does make a difference. And that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to get out there, and we're going to make the campaign to get the news out, to encourage people to vote. Really, people, there's more conservatives out there than there are liberals that vote, able to vote. Problem is, conservatives don't get off the couch to vote, and that's our campaign, to get them out there and vote in this 2012 election. You know, when I was a young man, let me rephrase that, when I used to have hair on my head, okay, there used to be a saying out there. United Negro Fund had a saying when I was a young kid about they were getting money to donate to the United Negro Fund. And the slogan to their ad, at the end of the ad, is saying, a mind's a terrible thing to waste. I want to say, we need you to vote, because freedom's a terrible thing to waste. Thank you. Could I have Laura up here? Laura has something to say. Laura Donahue. Something that they're doing on the Republican side that I think we all need to be involved in that, because it's we're working together to get that vote out this year.
Thank you. Thank you, Glenn. You couldn't have said it better. I mean, freedom is a bad thing to waste, sad thing to waste. We had a meeting last night, and thanks to Glenn and Becky and Krista, Maury, John Trenier, Jim Perry, we met to talk about how we reach our goal. And our goal is to elect conservatives, elect Republicans, and to get rid of the gentleman, the person in the White House. And your vote at this level makes a difference. Even if we think, okay, Chicago runs Illinois, they're not going to work here, it does make a difference. And it helps it all the way up the line. It's going to help our county board members that are here. It'll help me. It'll help Randy, Jim Keller, Jill Tracy, John Barnard, all on the ballot. And it's going to help Mitt Romney. And that's what's going to make the difference. So how we're going to do that is we're all going to work together, because we're all working for the same thing. How do we do that? We do that by identifying our voters, who's going to vote with us, who's our people, and get them to the polls. Very simple. But it just takes a lot of work and a lot of people. We are having a meeting, or a training session, if you will, tomorrow night at 36th and Wisman Lane. We're having free pizza. It starts at 6:30. And we're going to learn how we approach, go up to the house. How do we keep track of, how do we identify the voter? And we keep track of all that, so then we know to go back in November and get them out to the polls. through caller ID, through calling the call centers, and walking precincts. And we need people to do that. And we're all going to join forces, and we hope that many of you will help us. 2 hours a week, 2 hours a month, it doesn't make any difference. But if you sign up and you give us your numbers, we're going to coordinate all this and work together. And if we do, if we can put the Tea Party enthusiasm and excitement and your incredible belief to work, we can win this election. I really believe it. And we can win it right here in Adams County all the way up the line. I just know it. So sign up, call us, let us know if you're going to be there so we have enough pizza. And if you can't make it tomorrow night, because we know it's short notice, we're going to have another one, and we will let you all know. But thank you, and Glenn, a very special thank you for making that happen last night. God bless you. Thank you.
Laura?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to have another call center like we had last time?
Absolutely. It'll all be at 36 in Wistman Lane, and we'll put everybody together. It's going to be it's a really nice building. It's nice and clean and fresh, and we'll put everybody to work. Promise. Any other questions, Becky?
While you're on the subject, you've got a sign-up sheet. If anybody wants to help with the sign-up sheet back here, you can sign your name if you're willing to put signs in your yard.
Signs in your yard, walk precincts. Oh, I know what I want to tell you. Becky told us last night that she's had 2 calls already for John Sullivan, from John Sullivan, to walk in the Dogwood Parade this Saturday.
The labor union is called.
Right, okay, well, but still.
Was that Chicago John?
Chicago John, right, John Trenier. And so what we would love to have you come join us. We're number 63. Fair tax is in the parade. What number are you? 59, okay. 59 is the fair tax. Republican Party is 63. 8:30, come out. We're going to have daylight donuts. But come and walk, and let's show our support. Because I think they're going to have a crowd with what they've done with the election of their new chairman. It's a shift. We knew what to expect from the other ones. We don't know what to expect from this one. And so let's just show them that we're mighty and we're many. Dogwood Parade, festivals, all the things. We're going to have fun winning this election.
Check.
Any better?
Nope.
Is that any better?
Yeah.
Yay. All right, Kenny, it's your turn. Mr. Kenny. I don't make him get up here very often, but we have to.
I don't want to use the microphone.
Yes,
If he went to the trouble to fix it, I guess I ought to talk to it. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to bring up, and I'll be kind of short and sweet on this or whatever, but I'm the treasurer or whatever, so I'm the one that has to keep track of the money, the memberships and stuff like that. And in order to make things real simple, you know, we started out the very first of this year, and that's what our membership is supposed to last, 1 year, from January to January. We've got a lot of people that have given us money in March and April, whatever, to sign up for the membership. But what I'm basically saying is, come January of next year, I'm telling you this now, 7 months in advance or whatever, then you'll have, you know, your new membership at that time. So in other words, it's going to run from January 1st to January 1st. If there's anybody here that's not a member, hasn't paid, I want your money.
Okay, Obama.
But anyway, if there's any questions, anybody has any suggestions, ideas, or whatever, maybe I'll listen to them, maybe I won't, but I will pay attention to you. At any rate, that's, like I say, that's my little spiel. I don't want to get into too much or whatever. And then and we do have stuff for sale. I usually sit up there at that front table, and anyway, tonight I knew I was going to have to come down and say something here, so I left the table. We have shirts up there for $8. The signs themselves are $7, and the flags that we have there that are, I guess, basically called car window flags. Those are $15 a piece.
Tell those constitutions are free.
Yeah, there's a bunch of booklets up there that are free up there. We have free buttons and free bumper stickers and free State of Illinois booklets that have everybody's name in there, who are the representatives of Illinois, the Supreme Court justices, and quite a bit of information if anybody really is interested at all in it. It's really good. That pretty much does it for the membership thing or whatever. But we are going to have our picnic July 3rd, and I've already gone ahead and reserved the Wavering Park Shelter House. It's the very first one, as you turn in off of, off of 36th Street there, and you go down the road a little bit right behind the Ball Diamonds, and it's the first one on the right-hand side. So we're going to try to, have something there. That's going to be July 4th weekend, and so it's kind of hard to say how things are going to turn out, but we want to have a little picnic, a little get-together, and like to have everybody come. We won't talk to you too much that night. We'll just try to have fun.
Thank you, Henny. All right. We have someone we'd like to recognize tonight. This fellow gives a lot of hours to his community. He can be overly knowledgeable sometimes, and you can't understand what he's telling you, but he means well. He spoke at City Council two weeks ago. But our esteemed mayor wasn't very appreciative of that. Basically said, well, do you pay taxes? Was it property taxes? He didn't really want him talking. So we want to give him, and I told him 2 minutes, a chance to get up here and tell us about freedom of speech. Mr. Jeff Kirkhoff, would you come up front, please?
Won't take too much time. I guess you read in the paper what happened. I was kind of shocked. I was just giving a presentation on the budget that I had been given for about 4 years and comparing the effects of inflation. I don't know why he was upset. I could tell he was. I even went out of my way to thank the people, all the work that they did on the budget. But for some reason, something I said, or just the fact that I've been doing this for 4 years, comparing the budget to what it was back in 1974-75, we were close to 50,000. Now we're less than that, and we've just for inflation, we're paying a lot more. So he didn't like it, so I plan to speak. I haven't signed up yet, but I plan to speak on the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment. Thought I was going to, my timing, it works out pretty well. About 213 years ago, I believe, Madison put that in at the House of Representatives, and I thought it was, timing's pretty close. I think it was June 8th, so it won't be that far off. It'll be 213 years since it was been in June 8th, 1789. And then, of course, it wasn't ratified until 1791, Bill of Rights. But I do plan to speak on that, and we'll be interesting to see what happens. But I was kind of surprised by the question. And it wasn't so much for me. It was the chilling effect on other people. What does that mean if you get up and speak, and that's supposedly what you're supposed to do, and you do that in a public forum, and then you're questioned about, should you even be up there? Do you even have the right to speak? Well, the Bill of Rights gives us that right, and so that was, I don't quite know why the excitement about it. Again, I've been doing that for 4 years, so I plan to speak again on the history of the First Amendment and the Bill of Rights. So if anybody has any questions or anything, I'll be happy. But it was in the paper, I believe, a week or two ago, it was in the paper. This happened.
Hey, Jeff, we ought to have a party blitz that night at the City Hall. Everybody in there be at City Hall.
Well, that would be great to have people there. And like I said, there are 6 slots for speaking, so that we have, this is what was arranged after what happened with Mr. McQueen a few years ago. It took a lot of work. Jennifer Leppard, the alderman, and worked with the other aldermen to get that on there. And it took a lot of negotiation to get once a month where we can speak for 3 minutes. You have until noon of the Monday to take up one of those 6 slots. So that would be fine too, if other people want to speak as well. All right.
Didn't he wanted to know if you paid taxes? What
Right.
does that have to do with
It doesn't have anything to do with it. There's never been any connection between the Bill of Rights and the having property. Now, with voting, there was originally some issues with that, which, interestingly enough, was solved by General